We are here. We are live. We are back for another TD3 Tuesday. A very fun one because we have the NBA Finals to talk about, obviously, but also a lot of NBA news, which is surprising for this time of the year. Or I guess maybe not surprising because free agency is around the corner. And it seems like the entire NBA is gearing up for that. Everyone's kind of, the media companies are doing their jobs talking about the finals, but in the background, we got Kevin Durant news going, some injury news going, some Giannis news going, lots of stuff permeating that we're going to talk about. Should be a fun stream.
It's all the reports that aren't reports, but are reports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? And for that, I'm not going to lie. This is one of my favorite times of the year as well. Just straight bullshit.
Yeah. Non-reports is the right way to phrase it because these companies, like, they get on ESPN and Brian Windhorst has to pretend that it's not concrete. And they're like, there's a lot of talk, a lot of noise around so-and-so because they don't want him reporting and taking away attention. But we know there's a lot to read in the tea leaves this time of the year for sure.
Straight chatting, man.
And, let's start with some of this news and then we'll get to the finals talk later. Appreciate everybody coming through, spamming late as always, even though we're promptly on time. Let's start with Kevin Durant rumors before we get to the finals preview or finals reaction to game 2.
That's hilarious. The NBA Finals on, and we're like, yeah, let's talk about these trades, man.
Just because I want to make the finals the main thing. So let's get the small stuff out of the way. Let's get the news docs out of the way.
That's hilarious.
So what started this is funnily enough, what brought this back into the limelight. Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons is the one. Ooh, wrong screen. Bill Simmons is the one who brought this back up into life. He said, Bill Simmons thinks that Kevin Durant trade to San Antonio might already be done, and both teams are waiting to announce it.
What the hell is Ben Simmons? I said Ben Simmons. Bill Simmons.
That's his son.
Really?
Yeah, his son's name is Ben.
Ah, cool. What the fuck does he know still?
Bill Simmons is actually surprisingly tapped in usually. Surprisingly tapped in around this type of stuff, but been lots of smoke around this that some people think the Kevin Durant thing is already done. They're waiting until the finals to announce it. Would not be shocking. Would you want to see this? We talked a lot lately about Kevin Durant trade since it's almost a fucking guarantee he's going to be traded. Do you guys want to see this Spurs thing happen?
It depends what the package is like. I'm lying. I want to see it happen. How much I like it depends on what the package looks like. But if you have De'Aaron Fox, let's just assume like we traded for De'Aaron, so we're going to keep him. Everybody else is like on the table. So you keep De'Aaron, you have Wemby, and you put KD in there, which is an upgrade at a perimeter score over KD, does something that Wemby is still trying to figure out in terms of like go-to score and all that stuff, and you can insert somebody there who can give you that type of offensive versatility, all that. I think that makes the most sense in terms of a lot of the timelines that people are talking about with the Spurs, which is like, do you go and try and get Giannis? Do you think that Dylan Harper is going to fit in? Or do you just get the most easily versatile superstar and just put him into the system? I'm good with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I want to see this as well. Same level feel. As long as like De'Aaron Fox is there, because I feel like De'Aaron Fox will make this transition so much easier. Because over the years, naturally we see KD prefer not to attack the rim as much because it just feels a lot more easier. Any shot on the court is easy for him, but De'Aaron Fox is such a natural fit alongside these two ultimate floor spacers, and whether it be the package, fuck, I'm having a stutter attack. Dylan Harper, he could go. Stephon Castle, it could happen as well, bro. Anybody other than De'Aaron Fox, I'm cool with.
DJing.
Yeah. Dylan. Yeah, I think obviously they shouldn't go up number 2 pick. That's like a non-starter. If it's Giannis, then it's a conversation. But for old ass Kevin Durant making all that money, I think you can do it without the number 2 pick. I've been seeing a lot of conversation lately that it's probably going to make the 14 pick Vassell and other stuff, unless there's another suitor to make the bidding war go up. But it doesn't seem like there's going to be that many suitors for Kevin Durant right now. So yeah, I like it. It's a mixture of winning now and doing the whole try to win when your stars on his rookie contract thing. You have Fox, you have KD, you have Wemby as a real big 3 that can win today, assuming the bench is good enough. But if you keep the number 2 pick, you also have Castle and presumably Harper in the midst of your whole entire organization, so you can kind of play both sides. I like that. There's many stars I wouldn't like them pursuing, but Kevin Durant makes sense to me for those reasons.
There's only 2 stars, honestly, that I would feel okay with them going after, and it would just be KD and Giannis, just because that bench is really, really bad. Like they don't have a lot of depth, and every year what's gonna happen is, or what happens is, you see the finals matchup and you see the teams that either get there or win the title, and then everybody adjusts your entire strategy about like what you just saw.
Yeah.
Right. And so the theme out of this entire run in this finals is going to be, do you have 10 guys that you can play, right? Yeah. Indiana goes 10, 11 deep. OKC does the same thing. So if you're going to kind of forego that to go get Kevin Durant or to go get a star, I guess, you have to make sure that they are one of the like legitimately 10 best players in the world. KD on any given night can fit into that. Giannis obviously is like top 3 in the world. That's where it makes sense. If we're talking about doing this deal for like a Devin Booker and you're still giving up that type of capital, or I don't know, somebody else,
Star X,
yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns, whoever may be that's available.
It doesn't make sense for that.
No.
Chat 1 to 10. How much do you guys want to see the Spurs get Kevin Durant if that were to happen? And in the meantime, while you guys are talking about that, let's go ahead and look at this picture of bald Wemby being a monk.
Y'all don't understand, man.
You see the trends that I be setting? Do you guys understand my impact across NBA basketball?
He committed to it, though.
I did too, for like a week.
This is the GOAT. I don't know what to tell y'all. This is the GOAT.
I'm not gonna lie, he's gonna come in next season tearing shit up. He Oh my god, he went. I didn't.
I like how they did a fake picture on the right. That's not real.
Yeah.
But this left one, dude, he looks like Slender Man. He looks crazy. This is Lord Voldemort. If this is real, that is Lord Voldemort. What the hell is on his head?
You know what it looks like when somebody's locked in.
Yeah.
When somebody goes bald, bald Wemby, who also has found inner Zen. Nah, man.
This is the ultimate spiritual.
It's Jokic, Shea, that version of Wemby.
Spiritual warfare, man. He was going through it, and he's connected with the highest version of himself. Shout out to him.
Other news on the Kevin Durant space. Zach Lowe said he has a feeling the Clippers will get into it.
He did say that.
So I think that was more speculation. Like it would make sense for the Clippers, not necessarily hard reporting. I hadn't considered that. I don't know if I want it, but it would be an interesting wrinkle in the offseason.
I have no idea how that could even happen in my mind. Like, how's that possible?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It came across like, because I listened to that pod today, and it did come across as like pure speculation. He was doing like, you know, his top like KD trades with what's his name, Michael Pina, and the Clippers had got mentioned. Detroit got mentioned, which I was like, I really like that. We've been trying to get a go-to scorer to Detroit for the last 2 years. So I'm like, yes, I'm down with that. The Clippers stuff is interesting because it continues to add on to this like, hey, we're just trying to be good right now.
Exactly.
We're just trying to maximize whatever window we have right now.
Until their pick pool like resets. That's what honestly they're trying to do right now, and I respect it.
Shout out to the JV Scrub for saying, just feel like mentioning Big Baby Davis. It's always a good time to mention Big Baby Davis. Isn't he in jail?
It's almost the anniversary for that. I think how much more
is he in
till he's free?
Free Big Baby Davis.
I would love to have him on a podcast, man.
Big Baby Davis.
Why not, man?
Shout out healthcare fraud.
Exactly. Like I'm sure he has some good words to spread to the youth after he's learned after his mistakes, man.
He didn't hurt anybody. All he did was hurt the NBA's pension fund.
Exactly, man.
That man is a menace.
And if he did do something else I'm not aware of, do not free him. Let's put that out there with a caveat. If there is more, do not free him. Keep him there. Shout out to Ive Avocado for tipping $15. Appreciate you coming through like always. Shout out to Shrimp Dareem for $2.34. We appreciate y'all, man. For old time's sake, Mr. Smoot hit the Dougie.
You want me to play the song?
Wait. No. He said, if you do, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl again.
Do you want me to hit the song?
No. I'm not dancing for y'all.
He made a vow to never dance on stream again.
Exactly. I'm not doing that.
You're depriving yourself of good joy.
You're going to have to catch me off guard.
And that's all that. Okay, next news story.
Turn it off.
Put it on him.
I know you feel it.
Look at that shoulder.
I do.
It's switching a little bit.
I'll sit still for like 2 seconds, man. Listen, it would be good for Sacramento to have a player of Darius's caliber, but also y'all gotta relax, man. You guys are doing a lot. You guys are moving around, making a lot of moves. I don't know if you know what you want to do, and that is your problem. You haven't been able to sit still for 20 years, and now you're in this situation. Please calm down.
And this is just so funny because like the defining part of their season was trading their star point guard, who was a long-term solution. And obviously, you know, he partially wanted to go. It was a weird situation. His like demand, but not a demand. It's all in the air on who really was facilitating the breakup. But it's just so funny. The headline is, they need a point guard, man. They don't understand how they got here.
Yeah, you need a point guard. Nice. That means nothing to me. Go have fun with Keon Ellis, man. Go ahead and
So when they offer Zach LaVine and Keon Ellis for Trae Young, what do you say?
No, I'm taking bow and arrows and I'm showing up to Sacramento my damn self, bro. Hell no.
Keegan Murray.
No.
And
there's nothing on their roster that they can offer me. They can offer me their entire roster for Trae Young. I'm saying no. For what?
Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, and 2 first-round picks.
Honestly.
First-round picks, they talk to me a little bit. they move me a little bit. But I don't want to have that convo.
Yeah, that was just funny. But I bring that up because we got to talk about the fact that, Darius Garland was one of those names that were linked to that was potentially there. And there's been a lot of buzz in the air that I don't even know if it's really buzz in terms of reporting, but it's like theorizing that maybe Darius Garland will get traded. 2 straight playoff runs where he's not available, isn't giving them the vital playmaking they need for this offense to work because of injury and so forth. So everybody's theorizing Darius Garland for Jalen Suggs, Darius Garland for Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and so. That's been in the air a lot. And we got news relating to that because Shams reported that Darius Garland underwent surgery to repair a great toe injury and will be sidelined approximately 4 to 5 months. So this was a serious-ass injury he was dealing with in the playoffs. That is a long timeline to come back. And, he was talked about like he's just bitch-made and can't play. And he's, Stephen A. Smith was like, you better go out there and play. Try to win for your team. All this dumb bullshit. When clearly this was a very serious injury.
Try. In his defense, he did try. He did do the thing that everybody wanted him to do. He just couldn't go, right? And it looked bad. And you've seen, like, honestly, this postseason, I do feel like we saw that a little bit more. And maybe we were just more like, we just knew about it more between like Garland and Mobley playing through injury, Michael Porter Jr. playing through that whole thing, Aaron Gordon, risking his hamstring falling off the bone to play in Game 7. I feel like we heard a lot more about players fighting through injury. This sucks, though.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Right now, I see this, and obviously we knew there's minutes we were watching just right upstairs in the living room. Like, he is not good at all. And obviously we said earlier in one of the streams a couple of weeks ago that players of his size don't have a lot of room for...
Hey, what are they?
Of what?
What are players of his size?
Toe tappers.
Toe dependent.
Oh, toe dependent.
Yeah,
there we go. Toe dependent. He'd be toe tapping all over the place because of the nature of his game. He's like easily the shiftiest player in the league, and I would have that argument with anybody any day of the week. So to see this happen is so damning for the Cleveland Cavaliers' future. It's not damning because it's like, okay, it's a couple toes. You'll get over it, I'm assuming. But
it's a couple toes.
But bro, like, I won't see you fully healthy until like November, I'm assuming. You're going to miss out on an entire offseason of training where you can get better at certain skills and whatnot. Like, that sucks long-term for this team. And for the Cavs, again, I'm not writing them off at all. But it's just one of those things that you have to absolutely note through this entire Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley experience.
I kind of hope this makes them less likely to trade him. Because I understand... So, from all the actual reporting we've gotten is that they're open to anything, right? Which you should be. They should be open to getting better however they can. But I hope that they don't actually think trading Darius Garland is like the biggest thing they need. Like I feel like that would be a harsh overreaction if they just shipped him out for, let's say, that theorized Jalen Suggs deal. If it was like Jalen Suggs and young player X, say they throw interest into Silva because Darius Garland's an all-star, that would be a harsh overreaction to me. My takeaway from that team is not they need less playmaking and more guard defense.
Yeah, I'm at the point with them where, hey man, I want to see it again. Yeah. I want to keep running this back. So often teams like have 2 years of results and then boom, team gets blown up. I want to see this team go through the fire and actually see it because once again, we have not seen start to finish this Cleveland Cavaliers go through a season together. I want to see it with Darius Garland, with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley another year with the leap. Honestly, this could be good for Evan Mobley, especially at the start of the year where it's like D. Mitch is going to run the offense. He's going to handle more of the playmaking. Evan Mobley, this is your time to get your bag off. This is your time for your offensive growth to show even more. And for a guy who just won DPOY, Evan Mobley turning into like that level of guy is one of the reasons why the Cavs are so good this year. It's probably going to be one of the reasons why they are an elite team next year. If it does happen, if you get like another leap, I want to see that, and I need to see that from them.
Yeah. I think if they're going to, obviously, yeah, I agree. They should run it back. I don't think you should let misfortune make you blow up your team when there's 82 games, you being fucking dominant when you're healthy, obviously. And I do think Evan Mobley is going to have to be their best player at some point. Maybe as soon as next year, if you want to make a real leap and like beat the Thunder, Evan Mobley is, we think, a future top 15 player in the league. You're going to want to empower him to be that, and Donovan Mitchell not be your only quote-unquote superstar. If that's my long-term vision, have a power forward / center that can create off the dribble, but is a really good play finisher, pick and roll partner. I do not want to trade the point guard he has excellent chemistry with. That is not how I want to empower him long-term. Removing the only high-level passer on the roster, really. I do not want to get that guy and ship him across the country.
Yeah, I agree. All eyes are on Evan Mobley next year and seeing the level of growth that he's able to make. And also, I'm expecting a very, very strong Donovan Mitchell year next year as well, because he's clear. I won't say he dropped off, obviously not, but when it comes to the level of stardom that we felt with him, it's just not. It's not the same. It doesn't hit the same as compared to it did a couple of years ago.
I'm not. How do I phrase this? I'm not out on Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about the idea of Donovan Mitchell not being quite as not worse than we think, but different than what we think. Mm-hmm. He coasted a lot this year. That's the phrase we use, because he got off ball more, empowered the other guys, didn't have as high of a usage, so his stats were lower, and we assumed he'll just do better in the playoffs and he'll just turn it on when needed. We've seen him rise before. I did not like what I saw playstyle wise when he rised in this playoffs and he became more assertive. It felt like the offense just changed and became kill him Donovan basketball, and it took them out of a lot of what worked. Part of that was necessitated by Darius Garland not being 100%, but part of it I think was Donovan Mitchell kind of reverting to bad habits and it not necessarily flowing with the way they played. So I say that to say, I don't really want to see that and then say, Donovan Mitchell, you're the only guard creator on this team. I desperately want Darius Garland to be a big part of this offense. That's what I saw in the playoffs.
But there was a point in time, I believe, it may have been like a year and a half or 2 years ago, where we saw Donovan Mitchell look really nice, I think, towards the end of the season of a stretch.
It was when Darius Garland and Evan Mobley were both out, and it was him and Jared Allen, where Donovan Mitchell was essentially playing point guard. He looked really good in that stretch, so I agree. That's why I've always had a vision of him being like, not a point guard, but like more of a ball handler. I really liked it.
For sure.
But man, it did not look pretty in these playoffs. Like, it got overlooked because there was a couple of huge games where he scored really well, and like the narrative is like everybody failed but Donovan. I feel like his play style was like part of that. And I agree, you're right. We've seen times where he does better at that, so I'm not to say that's why I said I'm not out on Donovan Mitchell, but I very much want Darius Garland's playmaking to be a core part of this team.
It's so tough for Cleveland and this whole situation. I honestly am, and depending on how long Garland is out, even if he misses just like 2 to 3 weeks, I think the point that you're reaching with D Mitch, I'm kind of getting there with Garland. Where like obviously I really, really like Garland. Really kind of nervous because the health is one thing, and we've seen, at least for back-to-back years, coming back and not being in basketball shape, it takes a while to get into condition, especially for him. And so if he misses like that first part of the season and they either like are rolling, and now Garland is trying to get himself acclimated to the way that the team is going, this is like you said, whole offseason that he's going to miss rehabbing this toe. You are like, what level of Garland are we going to get next year? That kind of worries me on a, like, in a vacuum on a Darius Garland thing. I still think that the Cavs are going to be good because I do think that D-Mitch is stepping up. I do think that we're going to get some level of improvement from Mobley. But we were saying, I said, the moment you get to March, put Garland into bubble wrap. I don't even feel like you can, and again, depending on how it lingers or whatever, I don't even know if you can do that, because how much rhythm is he going to be able to have throughout the year getting, in and out of this stuff. So I'm very, very nervous about the year that Garland is about to have.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, it's going to be a big summer for the Cavs. Might make some moves, including Garland potentially. We will see. That'll be a big talking point as we get into our offseason content in the coming weeks. Another huge. What are you guys laughing at? The comments?
Yeah, somebody said, like, where's your pen? I just like looked up and I was like, all right, let me just.
He really trying to tuck his shorts.
No, because they look kind of high, and I was like, listen, bro, like I'm just. They just look high. I was like, all right.
Crayon Munch, we see you. He saw the comment. He took it to heart.
Immediately. I see the fit and look at Donovan. He just starts like...
You asked me why, like, whenever we walked in, Mo was like, oh, you wearing shorts? Like, I've never seen you. This is why, like, because I'm always just, like, just doing this. I got dressed, and I was like, man, it's like 80 degrees outside. I'm finna put these colors on, like,
Someone said SpongeBob fit.
Yo, I just want to put colors on today.
Keep in mind, one person said, "What's up with your fit?" and he's like, "Fuck."
No, because Mo and I saw it at the same time.
Yeah.
I saw like 5 minutes ago. He kept going.
He just
at
starts
the same
adjusting
time.
it. Oh man, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
That's a slaying as always. Don, don't be embarrassed. You put it on. Shout out to Definitely Not Dan for tipping $3.03. He said, Isaac, what center would you most want to see to go to the Lakers? Personally, I think Steven Adams would fix a majority of their problems. Not Steven Adams. I mean, I would like Steven Adams as like the backup, but they need someone more athletic, I think. They need, obviously, a lob threat for Luka, so Nick Claxton type, someone like that.
I got you. One Clint Capella. Get used to it.
I think there's a very good chance we start next year with Clint Capella as the starting center of the Lakers.
He's not coming back to the Hawks.
I think, honestly, it's almost a guarantee he's on the Lakers. I won't be shocked if he's a starter as like the worst case scenario. And I think with the way the center market looks, there's a good chance that worst case scenario is exactly what happens.
Best case scenario for you would be Claxton?
Barring like unforeseen name we don't know is available. Okay. Best case scenario could be like, Walker Kessler's actually probably the best case scenario. Okay. That's actually possible. But yeah, second realistic best case scenario I think is probably Nick Claxton. All right. I wouldn't be mad at Clint Capella as a sixth man though. Well, six man's a weird verb.
I know
backup center.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But next story we got to talk about. Brian Windhorst said, right now there is no Giannis trade market. There is no Giannis trade discussion. He has not asked for it, and the Bucks are not looking to trade him, which we know that to be the case. There's been some reporting from some sources that are close to the Bucks that some people are saying he's not going to request trade after all. He might pick loyalty. And then there was a quote, I don't have it pulled up, but there's something he said, I'll find it, where earlier today, I think it was on an Instagram post, he said he's excited to win in Milwaukee. Now, I don't think that was like him for sure saying that. I think it was just like, talking. But, here it is.
Yep, there's the Instagram.
So how do we want to decipher this? This is the quote. I'm rooting for good basketball. The finals are different. I hope to be back soon with the Bucks. Now, keep in mind, Giannis is very online. Do you think he said this for a reason, to say he's not leaving?
To me personally, yes. Then there's this other thing that he posted. I saw it on Twitter like an hour or 2 hours ago, but he posted this on Instagram.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he posted a picture.
Yeah.
I mean,
he posted a picture on Instagram showing the actual Milwaukee Bucks jersey.
Where is he? Is that in Brazil? Is that in front of the San Paulo thing?
Yeah, I believe so. And in his caption, choosing gratitude always, just banging up his flag, banging up his jersey. And I'm like, I guess he's staying, bro.
Giannis is throwing up his set.
Yeah, I guess.
Banging his jersey.
Yeah.
Big Bucks bitch.
You never see that. You never see any player just go up next to a fucking memorial statue and just like, yeah.
And that statue, that religious fucking hugely important statue in the world.
Yeah. I'm just like, all right, bro.
Big Bucks bitch.
You hang with Wisconsin, okay?
That means more to me than this statement. But also, the NBA is filled with liars. Like I've seen people lie in front of children's faces before. I don't believe like until we start the season and Giannis is like in a Bucks uniform, I doubt or not doubt, but I don't believe anything of like, he's definitely staying, he's not getting traded, because some team can come out of nowhere and just give the Bucks a crazy offer that they can't refuse, and then boom, he's gone. Like I think it's definitely, also the draft hasn't happened, the finals aren't over, we're so early into all of this, I don't believe anything.
Yeah, right now we're just reading the tea leaves, because like this is a unique scenario where everything on paper, logically, I think even Bucks fans understand he should leave. Like, all things being equal, if you want to win, you should be out of there. But it seems he likes this place. Obviously, he loves the city, wants to be a franchise legend. So it really just comes down to, is he going to have not just like the gall to leave, but like the desire? Like, does he care about winning more than being a Bucks legend? So this is the fun one where I actually do want to read into all the tea leaves, because he is terminally online. I think we've learned that about him. So I don't think this means nothing.
He's been online more than ever, especially this offseason, which is
he's had time.
Yeah, okay.
He's had time a few years in a row. Yeah.
Being out of the playoffs in the first round 3 years in a row, you start to get antsy. You start to get bored. Like, yeah, you're going to go on Twitter and do all that stuff. I just think that he also might do the thing where you start the season in Milwaukee and you see it goes trash, and it's like, let me just try one more time for the city.
Yeah.
And then you come out, you guys suck, and then we get to February, and Giannis is like, yeah, it's cooked, it's over. Trade request comes at the trade deadline, and then he gets moved there. Like that. That's also a possibility that I'm entertaining in my head.
That's probably the most likely thing. Or I think it also might be a Dame scenario where Dame was in a similar situation a couple years ago. The team did not make sense. There was no logical reason to stay. So he gave him the summer, said, blow my mind, convince me. The summer went by. Obviously, they did not blow his mind because it was not feasible.
Jeremy Grant, what's up? What's good?
Obviously, they could not blow his mind because there was no feasible way to make this team a contender. I kind of feel like we might see a similar thing where he's going to be like, listen, I want to stay. Convince me. And they're going to go out there and they're going to sign Gary Trent back, and they're going to sign KPJ back, and they're going to replace Brook Lopez with Clint Capella. And be like, hey, look, we're athletic now. Come join us. And then he's going to be like, yeah, I'm good, actually. Send me away. That might be more likely.
Yeah, regardless of what happens, I'm so ready to see Giannis average like 35 and 13 next year. It's going to happen, and I'm going to love it.
He does that every year.
On the same note, Brook Lopez is apparently going to leave the Bucks per HP Basketball. So for whatever that's worth, they might have to replace their longtime stretch five, which is a vital part of Giannis basketball. Stretch fives don't fucking grow on trees, so I don't know where you're going to find another one, but apparently he's not expected to be here next year, which factors into the somewhat.
Makes sense. I mean, we've known, right? Brook Lopez, thank you for your service, right? Career is not like, he's not 25 anymore. And so it hasn't been looking great. And so, yeah, it makes sense. Like, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the news stories I want to talk about. It is now time for us to talk about the NBA Finals. The main part of this episode, we got past the bullshit. Let's talk about Game 2 of the Finals. In this game, obviously, you guys saw it. It's been a couple days now. OKC won 123-107. We saw a bounce back after they folded Game 1 in hilarious fashion, a game in which they led for 99.7% of the game. I think, honestly, more than probably 99.9% of the game, actually. They held the lead. They lost because Tyrese fucking Halliburton hit a crazy game winner. Another amazing moment in what's been a legendary playoff run for Tyrese. Game 2 came around. I think we saw most of what we saw in Game 1, but now the OKC Thunder hit their shots. Shea was a little bit sharper, and they retained that lead and won pretty much wire to wire. What are y'all's main takeaways now after 2 games?
It's still OKC in 5.
In 5?
It's still OKC in 5. I was not worried about what I saw in Game 1 in terms of series outlook because, like you said, they dominated the whole game. And everything that I thought was going to happen, which was OKC's defensive pressure was going to mess up Indiana. And they did that. They did that in Game 1.
Yeah.
They were able to do the same thing and really apply pressure in Game 2. And I feel like Shea was so much more in control in Game 2. And you saw Shea as a scorer, as a playmaker, getting everybody into the right positions and really bending the defense into spots where they can thrive off of. And so if you're going to have the floor of OKC's defense, you're going to get an efficient Shea night. Hey, man, it is what it is. Like, you got it.
Yeah, dude, Shea looked so good, to your point. Like, Game 1, I think, obviously he didn't have his best shot-making game. It wasn't terrible, but especially in the fourth quarter, he missed some shots that would have made a big difference when they blew that lead. The Pacers did with the same thing they did to Giannis, where they said, okay, you have this one superstar scorer. We're going to let him go one-on-one. You're going to have to beat our defenders. They're talented. We're going to make it tough, but we're not going to help off your shooters. You're going to have to beat us yourself. And I think that's a big reason why they shot so poorly in Game 1. They just didn't get as many open looks. Game 2, Shea made a point in the first half to play make. He was head up, looking around, not even looking for a shot in a lot of these drives, and he was diming them up. It was, I wasn't going to say one of the better Shea games of this playoff passing-wise, but we've seen this a lot. We've seen games, especially after a loss, this happened a couple times against the Nuggets, where it seems like he does a very good job in film study and knowing that I didn't pass well, and he comes out with that being a key point in his head. You can almost see it's like he's either looking down, trying to get to a shot, or looking up, trying to pass. It's a very like one or the other thing with Shea, which is probably like, that's why he's not the best player in the NBA. He kind of has 2 modes. This was definitely playmaking mode, and it was honestly a passing masterclass.
Yes, I agree with both of you. First and foremost, my outlook doesn't change. Although I adjusted my my expectations, I said OKC instead of 5. I'm gonna give Indiana another game. I said 6, and also I agree with you. I think Shea looks so much better playmaking wise. I think he, like you said, he probably watched and did his normal job, film study, and realized like I kind of was forcing it a lot of the bit and just X all of his teammates out and really didn't give them an opportunity to have any rhythm. Overall, for this series, again, I feel really good about OKC. I like that they lean towards. What did you read?
Donovan looks like an upside down turnip.
They've been saying that for a minute.
I gotta look at him. Got him. I can't imagine that right now.
Nah, yeah, ha. Game two was good. And the one thing that I think OKC or that Indiana honestly is really able to bank on at this point is just the fact that J-Dub has not looked super comfortable offensively. And like that was something that obviously worked to Indiana's favor in game one because you got a bad J-Dub game and a bad Chet game. And then in game two, Chet played much better. What's that? That's a turn.
You can't really see it on camera.
Yeah, they can't really see it on camera, but goddamn, that kind of does look like you.
That is me.
Retro Bull for Life said, I'm genuinely convinced the only reason I want the Pacers to win is because of how bad Isaac glazes the Thunder. I got some bad news for you.
The only thing that's super interesting that I saw after game 2 on Sunday was that, wow, bro, like OKC, they're forcing turnovers, but they're not really doing much of anything with, which I feel so like anti-OKC and also anti-Pacers because normally they're not as conducive to this many turnovers. I think in game 2, OKC, once they created, I think they created like 14, 15 turnovers. They only scored off of like a total of 4 points from those.
That was in game 1?
2.
Oh, game 2, yeah. Yeah, the Indiana, you talking about the Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Indiana transition defense has been really good. That's been their best, honestly, facet of both sides of the ball. Their transition defense has been amazing. And that was an interesting point because, in game 1, we reacted to that game right after it ended, so we didn't have time to think through every single element of it.
That's free.
But the one of the prevailing things is like they got out rebounded 67-54, and then you look at it, that's entirely because OKC just missed more shots. Those were all defensive rebounds. To me, that's like an irrelevant difference. It was 10-13 on the offensive boards, which did favor Indiana a little bit, but that's a pretty small margin. And I say that because these are two teams that both of them are going to completely sell out on getting back and stopping in transition.
Yep.
It's two great transition defenses. You're not going to see a lot of fast break effectiveness on either side. So I think you'll see very little offensive rebounds and very little fast break points because both teams are determined to just make sure those things aren't losing factors.
Facts. But I don't know. This series, it feels like the 23 Nuggets Heat where I can respect everything that Miami did in 23 and how hard they worked. And throughout that entire run, you look at games, you're like, yo, how did you guys win this game? How are you guys up in this series? And it's the same thing for the Pacers now. Power friendship can only take you so far.
Yeah.
And I know that this feels different because even in this game, OKC's up by 20. We're in the fourth quarter, 9 minutes left, and I'm like, like something's crazy about to happen. It always does feel like it's looming, and Indiana's capable of doing stuff like that. But I think everybody knows that OKC is the better team.
For sure.
And that they have more strength and more answers and more counters. And so that's why if you guys are like, oh, you guys are glazing the Thunder, we're just talking about everything that we've seen all year. Like they are the better team. They should be the favorites. And so when we talk about is Indiana going to be able to do this, they're going to either have to play a perfect game from start to finish and not go down 15, not go down 20, or you're going to have wild comebacks like you did in game 1 and have, once again, some historic stuff happen. And I just don't think that historical games are going to happen 3 more times out of the next 5 games.
Yeah, I don't think it's power friendship per se. Like, again, the Heat was power friendship because they were getting that shit out of the mud and they did not show like that skill set over a long period of time. But I do think while the Pacers, I think they are real. Like they do have insane shooting talent that has worked. They have a elite playmaker that is really good at setting up shots and getting everybody shots within the flow. They have secondary playmakers that are really good at getting downhill and making their offense unpredictable. Miles Turner is really good at attacking most fives in a pick and pop scenario. Everything's clicking in that regard. They have good defenders. I think it's all real, not power friendship. But I also think OKC has the exact answer for essentially all of those problems. Everything the Pacers do well, OKC has an answer for, like you said. So both things are true. The Pacers aren't frauds. It's not just power friendship, but they also are severely outmatched. Everyone's talking about now, this isn't anything new. It's just now Tyrese Halliburton is the center of this. Every time someone does poorly against OKC, or really in the playoffs, anytime a superstar loses a game, all you see on Twitter that night is everybody relitigating their superstar status, whether or not they deserve it, whether or not they were gassed up 2 days ago and now they're overrated. It's a flip-flop depending on whatever your most recent game outcome was. Tyrese Halliburton is the newest member of that. He did not have a good game 1 or 2, despite the late game shot. He, for 3 quarters, was kind of a ghost and then got locked down in this second game. This is what happens when you face the Thunder. This is the type of defense. Just no coincidence. They gave Nikola Jokic the worst 2 games of his playoff career. They had Ant in hell. He had like a sub 50% true shooting for the series. And now they have Tyrese Halliburton in hell. They put superstars in hell. That is what it is. That's why someone keeps asking in the chat, Jake Daly, Isaac, is this a 7-game series? No, I doubt it. I do not believe it will be. It could be, but I don't think so because OKC is uniquely talented at eliminating your star player.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. One thing I will say is going back to the Miami Heat and Nuggets thing, I don't know if the disparity is that massive compared to in terms of like level of talent and the level of competition of the finals that we're seeing. I think Indiana is sizably better than what you may be giving them credit for when it comes to seeing that parallel.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I still think they're going to get the breaks beat out of them, regardless.
Yeah.
Well, Indiana is sizably better than Miami, but I think OKC is sizably better than Denver too.
Yeah.
That too. And yes, it's the reason why I'm going to give, and I'm using power of friendship as a very like general term for just like wild stuff happening.
Yeah.
But like they are down in all of these crazy comebacks. They're comebacks for a reason. They're down 10 points with like 9 minutes to go. And in 99% of every other NBA game, in any, whether it's like the Pistons versus the Wizards or the Thunder versus the Celtics, in any other NBA simulation where this happens, the team that is up by 10 with 45 seconds to go is going to win that game probably by double digits, right?
Yeah.
And so we're getting to the end of these games, and Indiana has been outscored by 10. They're losing these games by 10 points, and then all of a sudden, boom, something wild happens, and then they get back into it. That's where I'm saying the craziness and the unpredictability for Indiana is the thing that like shines out
I know what you're
among
saying. I don't think it's just craziness though. Like it is just it's you can. I think we boil it down to they're amazing at shooting is what it is. And there's obviously variance in both ways shooting wise. You get super cold and teams like this get super hot. So that leads to more what seems like crazy runs when you do it 4 times. It is, but when you do it 4 times, you're just really good at shooting.
No, it's all like craziness and wild stuff happens for depending on how long it lasts. I can't tell you if it's going to happen for a game or a whole season. That just may be who you are. Like, we can get to next year, and the Pacers might be bad in clutch situations. Who knows? But for this specific season, they are one of the most craziest clutch teams of all time. Neesmith going crazy against the Knicks in Game 1, that is absolutely...
You see what it comes back to?
But that's
you're right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Cavs being at home up 8 with 30-something seconds left, and all of those things spiral in terms of everything going Indiana's way to where they get a shot at the end and Tyrese knocks it down. Like, that type of stuff is where it's like wild that we're here. And so that's why I still feel very good about OKC in 5.
Yeah, I agree. Both are true though. Like, you fool me one time, okay, you're crazy. You're devil magic. You do it every single series. You're uniquely talented at staying in games, and you're an amazing shooting team. And amazing shooting teams get really hot, and all it takes is, it's improbable that they do these things. It's not impossible. And yes, it's crazy that it's happened this many times, but they clearly have the skill set to put themselves in position to do this. That I think that is real. I think they do come back for a reason, despite it actually still being crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. No,
they're more prone to having crazy shit happen when they're this good at these skills.
Yeah, shout out to them. I'm just not gonna say like, oh yeah, that's because you guys are like some level of craziness and like divine intervention and double magic has to happen. And they were talking about it earlier. Listen, we talked about Garland being out. They were saying Darius Garland is from Gary, Indiana.
Oh my God.
It's another part of the curse. It's another part of the devil magic and the sacrifices that the Pacers have given. And that's why they're here.
I will say, I do still think OKC in 6. I won't be, if they go 7, that's like in the cards. Like the Pacers can get devil magic, which is crazy shooting. They clearly have it in them.
You can't say they can't.
They
clearly have it in
7,
them.
No.
They can't go 7.
All that takes is doing this. They have 1 win already. All it takes is 2 more. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility.
They are down. They've been down 20 in both of these games. One of the most interesting things that after game 2, Shea was on SportsCenter with SVP, and SVP was he was asking him about, like coming out with desperation or whatever. And Shea was like, yeah, like, it's hard to muster that up when it's not organic, which is, I think, very interesting because we hear athletes all the time talk about like, creating demons and fighting, whatever. The fact that in game 1, you were able to get that game from Indiana, and it's the same thing that happened against Denver. It's what you said earlier. Fool me once, shame, right? Shame.
I'm getting fooled again.
That's what I'm saying. It's happened to them twice. And so
you had the same exact situation George Bush did.
I know, but it's happened.
Can't get fooled again.
It's happened to them twice now, and so whatever type of lock-in that they need, it is organic, and they have felt it, especially in this series. I don't think there's going to be another let-up for them. To where it would happen 2 times.
Have you seen Shea's averages in game 3s?
No, haven't.
20 points on like 49% true shooting. They say we're doing like every game by series. He comes out, averages 28. Game 2, it's 32. Game 3, it's 20. Every series, he's had a terrible game 3 so far.
And you keep on saying that like it's not going to be possible for Indiana to push this to 7. I guarantee you something like that's going to happen. Jada was going to be like, wait a minute. For 18, I got something for you. and guys like Alex Caruso's going to have a rough shooting game, and they're just not going to have any more errors from margin for real,
Yeah, errors from margin. I do still maintain that OKC's going to win, but if I think OKC in 6 was my original guess, and the Pacers win game 1, which obviously gets home court advantage, I can't be shocked by that logic if they push it to 7. It's in the cards. I still think if it goes to 7, I'm picking the Thunder every time, so I'm not wavering on belief, but I do have respect for the Pacers that they could make this a surprising series. Now, it will be a fake 7 games in which I'm never worried. It won't be like a real, these teams are tough and evenly matched, but the Pacers have that unique skill set that they can make some crazy shit happen.
They already earned their respect out of me from stealing game 1, man. Like, initially I was so, not like disrespectful or turned off by the idea of them pushing it to 6, but seeing how they were able to replicate the same devil magic against the Bucks when it came, I think it was game 4 or 5 or something like that. I'm not sure. Happened in the Bucks. It happened against the Knicks. It of course happened against the Cavs, and seeing it happen again, I just can't put a real ceiling on this team anymore when it comes to how they're able to match a level of competition.
Jake Daly said Isaac is SGA a lock for the Hall of Fame if he wins the finals here. He's already locked for the Hall of Fame. He's going to be an MVP. As long as you have the requisite amount of prime years, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he has just the right amount of prime years. His leg could completely fall off next season, and people are going to be like, man, those 3 years of peak prime SGA special. Yeah,
he has 3 first-team All-NBAs, 3 first-team All-NBAs, an MVP, and a finals trip at the least, probably a finals win. He's in the Hall of Fame.
You got guys with 2 All-NBAs that are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, I got to acknowledge you guys are spamming it. Donovan, they're saying they want you to say some Spanish. You are Donna the Explorer. They've been saying it for 10 minutes. I'm trying to ignore it. They want to see some Spanish.
Donovan, you got that in your bag.
Backpack.
Curse at me in Spanish, please.
Yeah. Huh?
Curse at me in Spanish.
Backpack.
What?
Curse at me in Spanish.
No.
Why not?
He doesn't even want to curse in English on the show.
Yeah.
You know his mom watches.
My parents do watch all the time.
That's true.
That's one of the major reasons why I don't curse.
Your parents have heard me say some heinous things. They've heard me say some heinous sound effects.
Facts. But no, I mean they are like, you guys may say like, yes, we're gonna, like, I'm gonna respect the devil magic and everything like that. I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. Whether like, and I referenced the Nuggets Heat. Yes, the Heat didn't win game 1, but that series was 1-1, and then you saw the Nuggets just be better. You've seen teams, not devil magic, but like the Thunder against the Heat in 2012. They get game 1, get beat for the next 4 games. Sixers, Lakers in 0-1. Iverson comes out, does crazy Allen Iverson stuff, and then they just get ramroded.
That's a good comp. That's a good comp. What could happen
for the next 4 games? We've seen this plenty of times where it's really hard to sweep anybody. Getting a sweep in the finals is insanely hard. So again, shout out to the Pacers. If we flip this and said the Thunder win game 1 and then the Pacers steal game 2, and no matter what, like, we're going back to Indiana 1-1, that was something that I probably could have been like, I'm shocked, but okay, we're here now. I just think OKC is that much better.
Yeah, one thing I didn't say on after the game 1 recap that I thought, I just didn't want to sound like I was coping, is I think a big part of why OKC lost game 1 is rust. We saw this at the start of was it the second round? I think that was the first Nuggets game. Yeah, they had a sweep in the first round, so they had a big gap where they had I think like 8-9 days off after beating the Grizzlies before they played the Nuggets, who went to game 7 with the Clippers. They looked motherfucking rusty. I think that was part of it today. They looked in game 1, I should say. They looked motherfucking rusty again. I think I might just be part of it. You know, you mentioned Shea said it's hard to have that motivation when your back's not against the wall. I think they need that, and I think they need to be in rhythm. I think we've seen that from them as a team. That was part of it. So I say that to say more reason to think, yeah, they're probably going to dominate the rest of these games.
I disagree on that though. I don't necessarily. I do think that
I'm just noticing a pattern. I'm noticing a pattern.
We've seen it happen
No,
before.
I
time
The
and
shot
time
making was
again.
really bad after having a lot of time off. It's not surprising to me.
if you want to say
That's what happened to the Lakers too in 2001. They were rusty as fuck. They had 14 days off in that series.
it's okay, I'm glad you didn't say that because if you did say that after game 1, I also would have called it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're up 15 with 8 minutes to go. Like clearly, whatever rust, you were able to overcome it to be able to have this lead, and that's more like if you say it's like rust mentally of having like some like killer instinct, like is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they didn't play basketball for a long time and they didn't look sharp the first day they came back from not playing basketball for a long time. That's not uncommon. That happens all the time between playoff series. Like some teams respond to that differently, and it seems to be like they're ones that need to be in a rhythm. It's always a matter of rhythm versus rest on which side you go on. They're a young team. Those motherfuckers don't need rest. It feels like they need rhythm. It's happened a couple times now.
Okay. Yeah, I just think like when you're up 15, when you're in these positions where you clearly have like a strong stranglehold on that game,
Sure.
it's like
but
it's
they're
like
at 20
there.
in game 2 when they weren't rusty. They never, then game 1 they never secured that lead because their shot making really bad. Shot making is one of the main things you see that rust come in
But
these
do you
games.
think you think rust kicks in like in the third quarter?
All game though they weren't making shots. They were up big because the Pacers were getting fucking put in Alcatraz.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason they were up. Their offense was bad the whole entire game. The Pacers just like figured it out in the second half and played their basketball and came back. But the OKC offense was ass all game.
Yeah.
And in this game they shot pretty goddamn well from 3. So again, I don't know. I mean, you can shoot poorly regardless of the time of the series. I just think we've seen twice now where they had long off days and we got terrible J-Dub games in both those games and terrible 3-point shooting games in both those games. It seems like a pattern.
Are y'all worried about J-Dub in this series?
He's starting to worry me a lot, actually.
Okay.
I'm happy that you said that. Seeing him play better, of course, not as much better, not to the level of standards that we now hold him to as a. Is he All NBA now?
Yeah, he made it.
Yeah, I think he's
Third
All
team.
NBA third team. Like what he did offensively, again, like when it comes to just, I love the defense. I love the playmaking. I love how he's able to use his will, be emphatic with some rebounds and all that he does. But one of the most important things that this team, again, is we all know is deprived of is shot making at the end of the day. That he can be the best defender, best rebounder, best playmaker. But at the end of the day, if you can't put the ball in the bucket for this team specifically, your value is hard to really evaluate for this team.
I'm not gonna go that far, like making like long-term judgment values, but I do think the Pacers are defending him well. Like I said, they're not helping off of Shea as much on these drives. They're making these guys attack one-on-one more often. And I think Aaron Nesmith is doing a fantastic job of disrupting J-Dub's dribble specifically, and the other guys too. I'm sure Nembhard switching on him, doing the same thing. There was one play in the, I think, second quarter of last game, or maybe it was the first quarter. The Thunder came out looking real nervy in that first quarter. They were throwing the ball around, getting some bad turnovers. It was a close game for a little bit. And I think J-Dub's handle was getting really, really exposed on some Miami Heat versus Jaylen Brown shit from a few years ago. I think the Pacers are just really good at exposing that, and that's always going to be a weakness for him. And this team is like really suited to expose that. So if you want to say you're concerned, that's always going to be a weakness for him, sure. But I honestly give the Pacers more credit for that than anything.
Yeah,
Got to give the Pacers more credit for that. Denver Nuggets credit for that, bro. And everybody else they play, more credit to you guys, not you.
No, those two teams both did the same thing, did a great job of it. So yeah, half the teams they
Shout out to
play,
the Mavs last year.
You're right. Yeah.
half the teams they play happen to be good at that. But yeah, that will always be a way to combat them. But give and take, because if you're going to do that and you're going to focus on J-Dub and not help off of him and make him attack, that means one less helper for Shea. And I think we saw in this game and against the Timberwolves, you cannot defend Shea one-on-one like this. He's going to dice you up. That's why they won this game so easily, because he killed them. So most smart defenses are not going to allow Shea to kill him, and they're going to help off of J-Dub, and he's going to be able to attack with an advantage. That's why he's an all-star. He wouldn't be an all-star if he was number one option on the Hornets. He's an all-star because he can play off of J-Dub and off of Shea. So in the aggregate, I would like to take the bet that most teams are going to throw extra bodies at Shea. The Pacers actually did that in the second half here. They switched to a really, really aggressive scheme after the second quarter. And I'll take the bet that J-Dub can handle that more often than not.
Yeah, that was that was one of, and there were a couple sequences in that I can't remember. I just know it's in the second half. I forget if it's in the third or fourth quarter. But Shay's posting up like on the wing, and you see them sending help from the nail, and he gets off of it quick, gets the ball to J-Dub, and the first time J-Dub takes a three and knocks it down. Second time J-Dub gets it, hits a pass to the corner. They get a open shot off of that, and so like you said, if it's very funny having the guy who's third team all NBA, but the Pacers are like, hey, if that guy's gonna beat us, so be it. Like it's gonna be okay. The whole team coming out, whole team had bad hands. Chet fumbled passes. Caruso missed some passes on some catch and shoots as well. For the first like 5 minutes, everybody was kind of the crowd. You could feel it too. Everybody was nervous of like, yo, are we gonna go down 2-0? Like, is this gonna be something wild?
I think they were too amped up because they understood the moment of need to come out and punch him in the mouth and establish it early, and they were like too fiery. Like they had like it looked like Chet chugged 2 Celsiuses and this was like 3 monsters to the dome. He was fucking spinning like Hammy from over the hedge, and he was just moving too fast. They need to settle down a little bit. I definitely felt that. I seen the chat. Solev1213 said, honestly, this Thunder offense feels overrated by the stats. Feels like one-man SGA show half the time. I think they're literally just the GOAT defense, which gives them a ton of opportunities.
Yes.
You're not saying they're overrated. You're just saying the reality. This team's offense is the defense plus Shea. That's why he's MVP. You're 100% right, and that's not a flaw. That's the whole thesis of this team.
Something that I said, I think it was probably on our last episode that we did on Thursday. I said that this OKC team defensively reminds me of was it 2013 Seattle Seahawks, like Legion of Boom?
Yeah.
They win. Yeah. And I say 2013 Seattle Seahawks specifically because like that team was super known for getting a lot of goddamn turnovers and scoring off of them turnovers.
Yep.
So I'm like, the comparison is there 1-to-1. Their offense is their offense. It's not some of the best. It's not broken at all. It's just like fundamentally, it's not going to succumb to certain nights, that off nights that Chet's going to have and J-Dub's going to have because Shay's there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the comparison I've used all year is it's the 04 Pistons, but they have the best scorer in the NBA. That's what it is. And you would see pretty similar things in a lot of circumstances if you paired a defense this good with the singular offensive engine this good. The whole reason he won MVP, despite having all-star level teammates, is because he makes them all-star level teammates offensively. So yeah, it makes them one-dimensional. You're right in stating that, but I don't think it makes them overrated. That's just like the way they play. You know, that's the way they prioritize their talent. You can't have 8 amazing defenders and 8 amazing offensive players. That's not feasible in the second apron. Yeah, unless you're just the GOAT, unless you are the 2017 Warriors, or really the 2016 Warriors when they had crazy depth. That's the only way it's going to happen. That's 1 in a million. Those teams three-peat. So give and take, and I think they've chosen the right path because of that.
Yeah, I agree. I can understand why he would say like the Warrior or this OKC team, it does feel overrated. I think right now they're in their infancy stages of being all-time level dominant. I think they could. I don't want to start conversations too early because we're going to have that when it's necessary next week. But they don't feel unbeatable just yet. And this is like the worst level offense that they should be over the next like at least bare minimum 3 years.
Solev said modern 2011 Bulls on steroids. Pretty much. It's honestly the exact same thing. That's why Derrick Rose won MVP as well. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Except this time we're going to look up next year and Chet's going to be a different animal offensively, I think. So yeah, I'm with you. They're going to be a lot more difficult to guard next year, which is quite exciting. What if Nikola Topic is good and they have a real backup PG? He's already on the roster. He was a lottery pick. He's already there. He would have been a top 10 pick if he didn't get hurt. He's on this roster.
They have so many things.
If he's Goran Dragic, this team's in a 3-peat.
Go to hell, man.
That's a high bar. Goran Dragic is very good. He's probably not going to be. He doesn't have a jump shot. But if he is, spooky. Spooky.
Oh, man.
And they got so many picks. I think they got like 3 or 4 first-round picks this year.
Yeah, they got some fake picks. But
I mean, they have 1,000 every year, it feels like. Which I wonder what they'll do with. And
that's going to be the most interesting part in the offseason for me, too. Seeing how they're going to constantly, like, reset and cycle through certain players on their roster.
Another interesting part of this game before we move on from talking about this game, how they handle the double bigs. I've been a big proponent all playoff series to go the fuck away from double bigs. I hate that they've been starting it for politics reasons. Game 1, Mark Dagnall agreed. He started Casey Wallace to start the game, and they lost the game. And I heard so much in podcasts, even from smart people, that this was a mistake, this was overthinking it, and so forth. And I'm like, bro, if Tyrese Halliburton didn't make that shot, nobody would be saying it was a mistake to start Casey Wallace. But I do think it was a mistake to never run double bigs.
Yeah.
And in game one, he didn't run it for a single minute. I never said all that. I think you should start Chet as a center, but you need to run double bigs a little bit and show versatility. That was the mistake from game one, I think. And in game two, he ran double bigs, especially when Miles Turner was off the court. When it was Thomas Bryant, Obi Toppin, they went out there with Hartenstein and Chet. And I'm like, that is the perfect adjustment.
Big body.
That's how you use double bigs. Use it sparingly against the best matchups. That was a great adjustment from Mark Dagnall.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to the double bigs thing, too, for this team, the numbers are the numbers. They say what they say, but there's certain things on the basketball court that just numbers can't account for, which is like a sense of relief that Isaiah Hartenstein is able to provide that no one else is able to on this court. He's able to, of course, the playmaking thing, the juice that he provides is very real. He makes Alex Caruso's life easier, J-Dub's life easier, and obviously Chet's life a hell of a lot easier when he's not asked to bang down low and be Rudy Gobert for 5 minutes or 2 minutes at a stint or whatever it might be. So I love that adjustment, and again, Mark Dagnall feels like time and time again he's continuing to prove like why he's easily like one of the, I don't know, 2 best coaches that the league has to offer.
I think he'll get there.
I'm not gonna say that because this is
He's a young coach for sure. He looks like a young coach a lot of these series. He has mistakes that he makes the right adjustments for.
Yeah.
But eventually he'll eliminate those mistakes and he'll get to the beginning at that point. But this man is a young coach.
This is back-to-back playoff series where game one you see something you're like, why'd you do that? You know, like, and so now we're here, and I think that he's found a good balance, right? In game one, even aside from the double big we were talking about, like AJ Mitchell minutes in the first half.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
And
sometimes
now,
he gets a little too woke.
Yeah, and so now in game two, it's that's ridiculous.
Donovan is out here looking like a
That's
Shaq gummy.
ridiculous.
Have y'all seen the
swear.
Shaq candy?
I
No,
swear,
what
I'm
is that?
only wearing white and black clothes on the set ever again. I want it to be very festive.
Wait, why is this a
I
comparison?
want it to be very seasonal.
Not gonna lie, these low-key look like Kobe, not even Shaq. These look like Kobe.
They do.
Yeah, his face is too structured. It's not rounded enough.
That smooth ass bald head, that's a Kobe head. But also,
Nah, you got me though. You
ultimately,
got me.
that's Donovan.
And they say you look sweet as hell. What the hell, Donovan? You gotta come in next stream fit harder than ever, and I believe in you. How are you going to respond?
Nobody believes in you.
Put that shit on.
They're calling you a pocket full of sunshine. They're saying you look mad approachable. They're saying you look like a jolly time.
They say you are digestible, man. That tear your ass up. That's what they saying, not me. I'm not saying it.
Nobody ever said digestible.
He's like, can't even wear purple these days. Nope.
Oh man.
Next thing we're going to do. I want us to do a blind ranking, something we've done for a while, the blind pyramid, actually, the blind tier list, I should say. But I want the chat to decide where everybody goes. We do this a lot, and we have you guys react to it while we do it. But today, I'm going to let you guys do a poll and decide every single one here. So we're reacting to what you guys think.
Okay.
I'm very curious how this will go.
All right, y'all. Please do not let us down.
Chat, we're putting a lot of faith in you guys, chat. We want you guys to get this right. This is your moment to shine. This is your moment to prove to us that you guys know ball. We're back on hoopgoat.com. Here it is. We got 4 tiers. Well, I'm going to do it off of what you guys spam in the chat, and if it feels divisive, I'll run a poll so we can keep moving fast.
Donovan told me y'all can't read. I don't know if you guys know ball.
First name on this list, chat, Mario Chalmers. Where do you guys want to put him?
S tier.
Keep in mind,
Top tier.
you guys don't know what mix of players these are. You're going to gauge it based on how good they are.
Y'all are listening to Donovan? You guys are that influenceable? What the
They're
fuck?
spamming S. Yo, I'm seeing a lot of S.
Top tier. Hey, let's put this is going to be a clutch players. This is just what I'm guessing. Mario Chalmers is one of the clutchest players of all time.
Y'all say in numbers.
Let's put him up top.
Top is 1, then 2, 3, 4. Say in numbers. S doesn't mean anything in this.
First tier, Mario Chalmers. Let's get it rolling.
They're spamming S tier. Bunch of trolls.
All right.
Okay, I am seeing more 4 than anything though. But
Are
I'm
you
seeing
really?
I'm seeing a lot of 1.
No, I think it's a lot of ones. I think we're
No, like,
okay.
no, it's
Now,
a good one.
once,
It's
okay,
4.
4s are starting to reign in now.
You guys, I'll run a poll. I'm only
Yeah,
seeing,
that's the best way to do it.
Let's see how this is gonna go.
We got to do polls. This is a lot of
Further,
so mixed.
listen. Stop trolling. On the poll, stop trolling.
Yeah, give us your real opinions. We'll run a poll
On
for
the
this
poll,
first
stop
one.
trolling. Today only. Mario Chalmers. 5 threes. 1,000 wins you $3 million.
Okay, 66% of people are saying 4. We'll go with 4.
Go clip.
Oh my
We'll be
gosh.
normal to start.
Today only.
They are ruining us.
Next
man.
up, what did I say? Did I say Willis Reed? We
I
got
have no
Willis
idea what that
Reed,
says.
number 2.
What the fuck is this based off of?
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with this. You know,
Okay.
this looks to me like role players who won a championship. Obviously, Willis Reed's better than a role player, but like supporting guys in championship.
Okay, they're spamming 2 off rip.
No,
He's
it was
now
one
listen.
person saying 2.
Listen, Willis Reed is a star, not one of the best players of all time. So maybe keep your options open.
But it's Mario Chalmers.
Yeah. So I'll do a full poll for this one with all the tiers.
Mario Chalmers on this list, shit, he might be number 1.
I'm seeing a lot of
Based off
threes in the
that.
chat.
Yeah, the threes are raining in. They're raining in like a lot.
Yeah, you always say this.
People are saying 2.
You always say this the last 2 times. You've been like, oh yeah, Willis Reed, like he's alright, he's
No,
whatever.
he's a star. He's just not one of the top 10 players of all time, but he's a superstar.
No, but Willis Reed on the All 75 team, won an MVP, 2 times Final MVP, 5-time All NBA, 7-time All
Here's
Star.
the thing. I knew he was a Finals MVP. I did not know he won an MVP. I knew he was a star, but
Willis Reed is like that. It's like, oh yeah, Willis Reed is whatever. It's like,
I didn't even
Willis
say.
Reed hit one of
I did
these.
not know he won an MVP, so I will say that. I did not know that. But I just meant he's not, in terms of the tier list, you're going to get 15, 20
he made
players
an
that
all
you think are better.
defensive team.
No, I knew Willis Reed's a star. I just didn't know I did not know he's an MVP, though.
He was on some Eastern Conference team, right?
The Knicks.
He was on the Knicks.
Okay,
Yeah, he won the championship Knicks in the 70s.
There we go. Was he a buck as well or no?
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight years of averaging 20 points. He's 20 and 13, 20 and 11.
Yeah, I knew that. I did not know he won MVP off that, though.
Okay.
I mean, he's like that. So it's like,
But in terms of tier 1, I wouldn't say he's like that. And Chad,
this is a
If
league
Mario
MVP.
Chalmers on this list, he might be.
It's
but
a league
hey,
MVP.
this
sure,
is
so
the
is
chat.
Bob Pettit. If
This
it's the
is the
thing, you're
chat.
not going to put Bob Pettit tier 1.
I mean, he's no Willis Reed.
This is the chat. This is a conversation
Well,
for the
if we're
chat.
doing resume, Bob Pettit's resume is better than Willis Reed's, I think.
No, I'm just saying, like, let's pull
All
up
right, let's
Bob
not have
Pettit.
these.
Actually,
Who?
I'm just going straight.
Chat, what are
no,
y'all
I'm just
talking
going
about,
straight
man?
off a resume.
okay, anyways, chat did tier 3. We're wasting a lot of time discussing
All right,
Willis
there we
Reed. So it's a Willis Reed enjoyer over here.
Yeah.
Dork.
Not even
All
over.
right, Willis Reed tier 3.
Hey, Bob Pettit is kind of like
Shut
that, though.
up.
He is kind of like
No, he
that.
is. I told you. I said that.
You are like that.
11-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 11-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champion, 4-time All-Star Game MVP.
All right, okay, we got Willis Reed tier 3. Shut up.
Yo, 26 and 16 career averages.
No,
for
Bob Pettit's a goon.
Yeah.
He's like that.
Dylan Brooks,
Hey,
chat.
yo. Hey, yo.
What?
Nah.
Everybody immediately is spamming 5 for Dylan Brooks on a 4-tier list.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, put that wrestler in the bottom tier.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume you guys want 4.
Yeah.
I don't think I got to do a poll for that
That
one.
is Roman Reigns with the jumper. Put him
What
in,
a
put him in
random
4.
Jeremy Lin.
We got what is this list? We got Jeremy Lin chat.
All right.
Now keep in mind, chat. You guys are running out of tier 4 spots. You guys don't want to.
Chat, y'all may have fucked up putting Willis
Chat,
Reed that low.
keep hating. Keep hating. Keep putting people in 4.
Yeah, and keep in mind, you guys already set the precedent of Willis Reed 4. Don't get married to that. If you have to make a mistake, don't bury yourself. It's
No,
okay.
but also, it is kind of fair, though. Like,
That Willis Reed's 3.
no, that Jeremy Lin is 4.
Oh, Jeremy
It
Lin
is.
should definitely be 4.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I'm confused by what we're looking at here. I don't know who.
Nobody knows.
I'm
We
telling
just-
y'all, chat. Y'all fucked up by putting Willis Reed at 3.
We're just
fucked
ranking.
up big time.
Yeah, I was thinking 2 for Willis Reed. You guys went 3.
They always like to sit down and fry us about draft shit or takes that we have. the mic is in your microphone, your face right now, buddy.
34% are saying 4. 29% are saying 1. There's a lot of 1s in the chat for Jeremy
All
Lin.
right.
But most of you guys are saying 4 by slim margin. A lot of you guys want to go 3, but we'll go 4. That's what's winning.
There we go.
Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
Now, obviously, Willis Reed is greater all time than Jalen Brunson.
They're going to say 4.
Do you guys want to put Jalen Brunson neck and neck with Willis Reed? You know, modern NBA stats are better, but Willis Reed's a legend.
Bro, this tier list smells like shit, man.
They're spamming 2. I'm seeing a lot of 2 in the chat. Yeah, you guys want to go 2. Okay, you guys clearly want to go 2.
Let's do that.
I'm seeing some people saying we got to go 3. Maybe that's right, but I'm seeing a lot of 2 in the chat.
You
Go
can
to-
correct yourself as much as you want. This list still stinks.
Yeah, this is a 2. You guys are spamming 2. Nick Van Exel.
Okay, I like this name.
So listen, you guys sold the Willis Reed placement, but you can recover from
really
this.
did.
You guys really sold Willis Reed. He probably should have been tier 2, but
You
you
put
can
an
recover.
MVP in tier 3.
But also, there could be other MVPs on here.
They're all over the place with this one right now.
I don't know who's gonna be on this list.
Me neither. This is crazy. Okay, I'll do a poll.
mean,
You guys don't know Nick Van Exel.
Kent Bazemore might be next.
You
bro.
guys
I
don't
know
even
what
know
the
who he
fuck's
is, you
happening.
goddamn crayon eaters. I'll put a poll, though. But there's no way you guys have opinions on Nick Van Exel. See, they're spamming 4. I don't know if you should be spamming 4 for Nick Van Exel. You have one spot left in 4.
Yeah, that's
I'll let you rock, but I wouldn't do that.
chat. I think he should be 3, but this is your list. Rock out.
Yeah, okay. There's you guys are voting right. He's 3. And that's a good placement. Dennis Rodman.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
That is difficult. That's a hard placement, y'all.
You can convince me 4, but with the lay of this list right now, 3 probably makes the most sense. But I don't know how many more
They're
players.
spamming 2. So you guys want to go Dennis Rodman? Or,
I can't eliminate that. I
Let's
can't
do
eliminate
it.
that thought process.
Put him at 2. That's what the people says.
Chat, you got to give us explanations.
I'm running
too.
a poll.
No.
I don't know what they should do with this
We're
one.
on top. You kind of have to put him at. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so is Willis Reed. There might be 2 other Hall of Famers.
Again, we've established
You're
that
right.
they sold him.
You're right. But there might be other Hall of Famers on here too.
I'm sorry.
Like Jalen Brunson, he's like peaking right now, Hall of Fame level. So that's not crazy. All right, y'all said 51% too. You guys want tier 2?
Woo, shit.
Okay. Next up, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh shit.
y'all are gonna hate.
Damn.
Surely he has to be just. He slots into 3 pretty well, right?
You should.
Yeah, they're spamming 3. 3. That's an easy one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
seeing
seeing a
nothing
lot
but
of
3s in the
3.
chat. That makes sense. Good call.
All right, here we go.
Alex English, you guys got
wow.
bailed out. You guys got bailed out.
Oh, wow.
That is a good placement. Alex
Oh, wow.
English is a good bailout.
I'm barely seeing any 1s.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
might be.
seeing a lot of 4s. Y'all don't know.
Hold on, y'all might be dumb as fuck. Let me run a poll real quick just to see what the masses think.
Okay, the 1s are starting to come in.
Yeah, there's a little delay in the chat. Let me make sure you guys aren't bozos about this.
Okay. Yeah,
Let me just do a
spamming
poll
ones.
to be safe.
All right,
1 and 4.
I'm seeing the
Yeah.
1s.
Let's see, man.
Surely, yeah, okay. I'm seeing early. Yeah, 77% 1.
There we go.
Okay,
Nice.
listen, you guys got bailed out. Alex English is a very good tier 1 placement.
Bailed out. We don't know yet.
Listen, if we get a real tier 4 spot, this could be a good tier list despite the Willis Reed fuck up. Manu Ginobili tier 4.
Damn. Ooh, you guys are regretting placing Isaiah Thomas right there for sure.
Or Nick Van Exel.
Yeah.
It's probably.
It's probably.
I don't
IT
blame him
because he
though.
was
I
lowest,
don't
but-
blame him for that. That one, Manu Ginobili snuck up on us. I also would have fucked
This
that up. I
whole
think.
list has been very weird, so I don't blame y'all, but understand that you did do this to yourself.
Yeah, I also wouldn't have put Nick Van Exel next to Jeremy Lin or Isaiah Thomas probably.
Damn, y'all can't read and you guys can't do tier lists correctly. What can y'all do?
Y'all did sell, but all things considered, this isn't the worst list in the world.
Have we made worse? Probably.
No, hell no.
No, I don't think we have. We've made equally as bad, but Manu tier 4, Willis Reed tier 3 is quite bad.
I don't even think we did equally as bad, to be honest with
Because
you.
if we would have did this, we would have put Willis Reed tier 2, and so that would mean Dennis Rodman probably would have went tier 3. We also would have put Manu tier 4. We also would have fell into that trap.
No,
No, I
we
wouldn't
probably
have.
would
I
have
would've
put
put
Nick in 4. We
Yeah.
probably would have put Van Exel.
I would have Nick's an all-star. I would have campaigned for Nick above Mario Chalmers. I think Nick in 3 would have made sense.
Mario Chalmers is what a name, bro.
We would have. I would have campaigned for Nick in tier 3. It would have come down to Isaiah Thomas. Would we have put Isaiah Thomas in 3 or 4?
Probably 4.
I think we would have fell into the same
Yeah,
trap. I think
I
we would
would've
have
put it
put.
4.
I think we would have got fucked, and we would have put Isaiah Thomas tier 3.
All right. Okay. You got it. That's fair.
Hey, you guys did do horrible.
Someone said it's my fault for what?
Someone said Mo's being ableist. What'd you say that was ableist? Blame Mo.
Y'all can't do nothing right. It is not my fault.
What did Mo say?
He said that they can't read.
No. I was calling back to what he said, not me. You guys informed me that they can't read in third
He
person.
said Don's fit threw me off.
I'm just wearing
See?
shorts and a t-shirt, man. It's 80 degrees outside.
You know what? You know what I call this?
If I ever see y'all wearing colors outside, I'm gonna be upset. I need everybody black and white. Gray fits only for the summer.
Y'all are being dismissive. That's what it is. Y'all are just not taking on accountability.
Yeah, take accountability.
At all, man. Come on now. It's all right. We all slip up. It's cool.
We'll give you guys an opportunity for redemption in the future. Just know the one time you put the ball in your guys' hands, you did shit the bed. So keep in mind, next time you want to yell at me for being wrong or yell at Mo for selling a draft, you got the opportunity to prove you could do better, and you did not.
It's on y'all.
That's accountability. It's a lesson for y'all.
I'm disgusted right now.
And with
Disgusted.
that being said, that's the end of the stream. It was a fun one. We will see y'all next week. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna do this ever so often.
Yeah, pressure's gonna be on y'all. Get better.
Until you guys get a good one, we're gonna keep doing this. With that being said,
y'all suck.
we'll see y'all next week. I want you guys to let this stew.
Also,
think
hey,
about this.
bring back this crayon because you stole.
You did steal a crayon.
Yeah, bring the green crayon back.
What will happen if I don't bring it back? What y'all
I'm
gonna do
gonna have to
about
beat
it?
the shit out of you.
Y'all gonna beat the fuck out of me?
We're gonna have to kill your ass.
Shit, well, all right. I'm not gonna be on this spot no more, guys. See ya.
Hammers.
#StoneMo.